What's going on, guys? And my name is Matt. I'm going to help you automate your fitness business. Now, today I'm starting a new series that is basically AI agents that are going to run your entire business. So this is how to use an AI agent to facilitate all of your client weekly check-ins in your fitness business. So there's going to be a couple of things we need to do to get started, and this would be really ideal for people who are, already coaching, have a bunch of clients and want to streamline this process, but still want to have hyper-personalized check-ins. So the first thing that we're going to do is you need to have a couple of platforms. I'm using Typeform to collect the submissions. I'm using Make to send those submissions from Typeform to a Google Sheet. And I'm using Lindy to facilitate our AI agent. So if you haven't used these platforms before, most of them have a free trial that you can set this up without needing to pay. However, to do this, you will need to be on the pro plan of Lindy because it uses their AI agents and stuff like that. So you're going to need it eventually. So you may as well just get it. Cool. So first things first, you're going to need to familiarize yourself with Lindy a little bit. The way Lindy works is it's like a Zapier or a Make, but it also has the ability to have like an internal knowledge base and uses AI to help facilitate the workflows. So what we're going to do is basically build a knowledge base of your coaching, and it's going to be able to be referenced from inside these workflows. So when the check-ins come in, it will start to generate your check-in for you. And then we're going to be able to send it messages via Slack to improve that check-in and then send it off via email. So the process is going to be client fills out Typeform, you get a Slack message, you make any edits that need to be, you just suggest the edits to the bot, and then it will send the email via Gmail for the check-in. So first thing what we need to do, and I've just dummied all this data up from Claude. However, it's best for you to create some client example client check-ins. So if your check-in form looks like this, you've got name, email, phone, date, how did you feel like you went this week, scale weight, average steps per day, macro goal for the week, did you stick to your macros, completed training sessions, performance level for progress, and additional notes. Fantastic. If not, then I would list out all of your check-in questions and give, I've done 10 examples, and then I've also done like 10 example responses. So for these ones here, you can see like these are just the examples. I've then exported this data and added it to my knowledge base inside Lindy. So inside Lindy here, you can see I've got 2 files and I've uploaded these just by hitting the plus button. But before we do anything more, you should probably have that. So basically, the way this works is I have this type form. So the clients fill out this type form. That integration in Make processes that information. So it lists the responses and then adds them to a Google Sheet. And it adds them in here. So this Lindy is running based on new rows added. So whenever a row is added into here, it will process that information and start running this, right? So I'm just going to give you a really quick demo of how it works, and then kind of step through the process as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into Typeform and we're going to share this Typeform. So we're just going to fill it out together, and then I'll show you kind of how to set it up. So we go copy link. And we're going to go paste that in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to type in name, Matt Lambourne. Email is matt@knockonautomation.com. Phone number, I'm going to just put a random phone number. Maybe I can skip this. Yeah, cool. I'm not going to put my phone number in there. Date, today is the 20th of the 1st, 2025. How do you feel like you went this week? I think I progressed really well. I was able to build some really good habits and progress. And then scale weight, let's say 100 kilos, so 100. Average steps per day, 10,000. Macro goal this week was, let's say 200 grams pro, 200 grams carbs and 60 grams of fat. And did you stick to your macros this week? Yes. Did you complete all your training sessions? Yes. And then, do you think you performed at a level required to progress this week? Yes. Cool. Do you have any additional notes? I was able to fit into old jeans today. Cool. And we're going to hit submit. Now, this is not going to run entirely by itself just because I set it up so I can step through the process with you. So if we have a look here in this make scenario, this isn't actually live. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this here just once. So run this module, and it's basically watching for my submissions. And what we've got here, it should be, we want the most recent one. Let's just have a look here. 1 second. AI agent check-in. Yeah, this one here. We want just this response. So what you would do here, instead of list responses, you'd probably watch for new responses. So an instant one, but we'll just run this, and it basically just puts all this information into my Google Sheet. So name, email, phone number, date, etc. It all gets sent to here. So Matt at knockonautomation.com. I left the phone number blank. I'm just going to blur that out. Cool. And it's got all the other information here. So what we then do, if we go into Lindy, and has this run it already? I don't think it has, because I don't know if I turn this live. I'm still getting used to Lindy a little bit, and it does work quite well. But let's just take a quick look to see. No, nothing's run yet. So let's press test. And what we're going to do is we should be able to go back here and test. And let's go retry. Received an updated Google Sheets new row. So let's just see what information it's processing. So name, email. Okay, so it's all the inputs. Let's just wait for it to run. Let's just see. So it's currently going through and writing this information. And cool. So we've got all this information here. And what it's currently asking me is if I'm happy to send that Slack message in here, which just for testing purposes, I've got it to set to ask for approval, but it won't do that in the future when we turn it to just go live. So now if we go into Slack here, I've got a new message from Lindy. It says, hey, Matt, I've got a check-in for you to review. Here's a summary. Based on this data, Matt had an excellent week. What we can do here is we can reply to this message and say, looks good. Please draft me a check-in for Matt and send it here. So we're just going to wait a second, and it should jump in back here and have a look. And you can see it's thinking, and see it's got my message here because it's observing that channel. And we've got a proposed check-in back from Matt. Matt, what an absolute stellar week. Your perfect adherence, blah, 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 blah. Looks good. One thing I don't like about this is the emojis. So I'm going to ask it to remove the emojis. Looks okay, but remove the emojis, please. And now we will wait for it to come back. And if we quickly just have a look, it's got that information here. And it seems to have stalled. So sometimes this happens. So proposed check-in. This is listening to one event. So did it already progress and send it through? Oh no, here we go. Still thinking. So it takes a second. Replied to channel. If we have a look. So Matt, what absolute stellar week. Fantastic. So that's the information that we're after. And that looks pretty good to me. You could make this a little bit more casual. So let's make it a bit more casual. Cool. And let's just wait for it to come back to us. Let's make it a bit more casual. And one thing with this, once you have started seeing it succeed with, it's gone really casual now. Once you've started to see it succeed with the check-ins that it makes, you should start copying and pasting the example check-ins into the knowledge base so it knows what to learn off more and more and more. So we got new Lindy here. So hey Matt, awesome week, mate. This is fantastic. So I'm really liking how it's interpreting the information. I don't know how it knows to use mate, but hey, that's just crazy. I think this looks really good. So all we need to do now is saying, looks good, send it. And if we take a look here, it'll see that message saying looks good, send it. And since the coach has approved the check-in, I'll proceed with sending it. Awesome, blah, 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 blah. And we'll send a Gmail in just a second. And if we click on this one here, we'll be able to see that message. Hey mate, awesome. Hey Matt, awesome week, mate. Love that you're fitting those old jeans. That's such a cool win. Your consistency is really showing. So just really cool automation here. So basically what it will happen, the workflow to apply this into your business is whenever someone submits their check-in, you will just have all of these chats in Slack waiting for you. So you'll have like, hey Matt, got this check-in. And blah, 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 blah. And what you can do your entire check-in workflow from Slack, which is insane, right? One thing that I speak to a lot of coaches about is the back and forth of like having to open training apps and having to open Loom or whatever it might be. You saw how quickly I was able to make those changes. So instead of going through and opening all that information that might have taken me 20 minutes to write this whole thing or half an hour, I've cut this down to less than 2 minutes, which is just nuts. So setting this up, as I said, these are pretty simple. If you need further explanation on how to set these up, then I can probably go through that. But the Lindy is the most important thing. So what we're going to do, so obviously the trigger here is new row added. The next one here is search knowledge base. So it is looking for the knowledge base that I've set up. So if you want to add in more data to here, you can do that. You can connect a bunch of different things. And the right here is create a client check-in from the information you've been provided, the initial webhook with the data you've been provided from the knowledge base. So it's able to look at the knowledge base and consider what a good check-in looks like. And then in the next step here is send channel message. So basically it has two little offshoots here. So when after a reply is received, we've got an AI agent here that has this little prompt. So you're an AI fitness coach who asks the humans for approval to send a check-in to a client. You message the coach on Slack with a check-in and wait for their feedback. The channel the coach is in is YouTube demos, and the coach member ID on Slack is you blah, 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 blah. Wait for a tagged Lindy reply on Slack. I don't have this anymore. It's just waiting for the reply. So we don't need to worry about that too much. When the coach says approve, you may proceed. So right now, this AI agent has two skills locked in. So it's able to send a message and it can write with AI. So it's just using the information that it's done here and then improving on it in here. It then waits for the approval and then sends an email, and it sets all these fields up by itself, right? So it sends all this information. And if you don't want it to send the email, you can just save it as a draft and you can go into your emails and send it manually. So it's like if you step by step this and break it down, it is actually not that difficult to set up. However, if you don't have that knowledge base, if you don't have the skills to set this up, then totally understandable. I'm probably going to upload, I don't actually know if I can upload this as a template, but I think I can, to my free community. So if you join the community, which I just opened back up from paid to free, you can jump in and, start doing these kind of automations as well. I think it's really cool. So one last thing I want to talk about with Lindy, I've got the pro plan here. To troubleshoot this, to set it up and run it, it's only used 50 credits. So if we look at just this here, and then I've got 5,000 credits. So if I say it's about 10 runs that I can do, it's about 500 clients to process this, right? Per month for about $80 Australian, which is about $50 American. Worth it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy that. This new series is going to be kind of fun. I've got a bunch of videos ready to go for more AI agents like this. So I'll see you guys again soon.